Good morning and TGIF. So let's get to first things first. We got personal income and personal spending rearing its ugly head. And I don't really know if that's going to be too much of a market mover, but that's going to give us some insight into what the economy's doing, how the market contraction and interest rate expansion is affecting the pocket, not to mention um, the self-fulfilling prophecy of inflation, which curbs spending. I mean, when you think about it, right, the average meal out for an individual family of four, is about $1.25, $125. So you figure with the rise in oil prices, that pretty much eats up one weekend of dining out for a family. And that has a huge trickle down effect if you think about it. And then there are other things, home projects, people who aren't really into eating out but spending money on home projects, that diminishes, so it hits hardware stores. So just the fuel alone is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy as far as inflation goes. It's going to slow down. And really, supply chains are easing up, man. It's corporations gouging. That's the real problem. But, with this idiot president we have in there, nobody looks at anything. They just kind of floating through, I guess. And I mean, I don't really know what the guy wakes up and thinks about. I think the guy's as blind as Putin, relying on a bunch of bozo special interest advisors. Um, so I just find him ineffective. Okay, let's not belabor the point. The PCEs are going to be important numbers to look at too. As far as what companies, I know there's a big boy. Oh, Exxon today. I mean, these aren't really market movers. I think Exxon's in the S&P 500. I think they're in the top 25 of the S&P 500, but I don't really know what their rankings are. I thought there was a big name due out today. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. But we know what Amazon did to us, right? Um, Look at that. It was up 4.65%. It's down about 8% right now. And that's going to hurt, man. That's going to hurt. I mean, the futures are down 30 already. And I mean, Tesla's up. Tesla's up 30 points. And that's on the news that really a lot of that selling was Elon liquidating 4 billion worth of stock. And I think he's getting ready to, yeah, for the sale. I mean, I think he's going through with the sale. Everybody's kind of wishy-washy about it, but I'm still I have confidence he's going to do this. I think he should. Apple's down 2%. Amazon's down 8%. Man, Google's down 5/8%. Microsoft's down 1/4%. So I mean, they're leaning into the market being down. Hopefully, selling doesn't come in. But let's look at it on a technical basis. Really. So first, we'll start with the S&P 500. So here's the S&P 500 for the daily chart for yesterday, which is nice, right? We love this retrace, but really, all it did was set us up for a bear flag. I mean, and we've already broken today's low, have we? Yesterday's low, have we not? We've got the open, well, let's say the low is 188. Nah, not really. The close was 87. So we're about 50 points away from triggering that. But we've seen that these days. We've had these ugly days where we get this kind of movement, and that's very possible. So we could trigger, if we break this, we trigger a daily flag, which is going to be a considerable move. And then the test of that flag is going to be this low right here, which is 4162.90. So, I mean, it could retrace off that 4162.90, or it could start to make new lows. Quite frightening. And, I don't have to tell you that this is a downtrend. This, I don't know if I'd argue it's a reverse micro trend. But actually, this is a wrap. This is the new bottom. So, for all intents and purposes, we could just call this a horizontal low right there. But I mean, we could argue that this is a fairly strong bottom. It's three taps on the bottom. It didn't make it. Sometimes three taps on a bottom is an indication to bears that they can't go any further and they back off. But when they have this economic environment and all this doom and gloom around the market, it's encouraging for them to hit it and go through. So then the psychology changes, and the three taps on the bulls, and they couldn't bounce off of it. They're saying, "Yo, we can't get past this. We can't get off of this," and they back away and let it go through. So these are my fears, and that Amazon coming out with those numbers and taking this beating. Um, and really, it wasn't so much their numbers, but their going forward statement. But yeah, that's smart. They make that going forward statement, so they're underestimated, and they come in and beat expectations in the next quarter, perhaps in a better environment. So it really might be a buying opportunity. It's just how far the psychology goes. Then the algorithms kick in and just slam the market, bang, 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 and things just get real ugly. So we're neutral right now on the S&P 500. I'm neutral, pending dun, 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 this very interesting, which is going to look like it's going to get blown up, which nothing's a bar till it closes. But this would have been a very interesting hammer on the weekly right here. And let me see if I can clear that up a little bit so that you can see it. I'm just going to disable my cloud. There you go, baby. Um, so look at that. It's a beautiful hammer. And it's textbook to trade next week, right? Because here's the trend line, and it rips through the trend line and bounce back. That's pretty much a run on stops. And if it closed up like this today, then next week, the break of that high, that just means we're going to have like a couple of weeks worth of upward movement, But it's not going to look like that today, ladies and germs. Um, what's the low of this? 162. I mean, I'm praying we don't get down there. We don't have another one of these blow up days. It's probably just going to look like a doji, which is just an indecisive bar. You're not going to know where it goes. If this bar closes, close to the high, or even the way it is right now with this little bit of a wick up to the top, then you could call that a good hammer. If it closes down, even for the week or lower, it just blows up the whole pattern, man. And who knows where we're going to go at that point. It would have been really nice to have that hammer. It would have gained a little confidence. And I'm not saying that we're going to go to new highs, but it would kind of convince everybody that this is the bottom right here. And we're going to churn around in this area. And which is fine, man, because institutions and traders make a lot of money just churning around in that area for a while until things settle out and then maybe make a move. But we still got that 3,800 on the table as a target, and that's uncomfortable. It's quite uncomfortable. I just wish we'd get it done and get it out already. So right now, as the picture looks, with the futures down, I think 30 at the moment. There it is. Boom. That's what the bar looks like. And I mean, it's still a good bottom. We're off the bottom. We got a tail to the downside, but it's not as strong a setup as it would be if it was a hammer. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that hammer. I want to see that close today. So everybody who's listening, get out there and buy. Buy, 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 buy. Let's take a quick look at BTC. Bitcoin. Probably the same picture. Yeah, relatively. I mean, the hammer wasn't as dramatic. Let's get rid of that right there. The hammer's not as dramatic on the weekly, but yeah, it's making it. This is actually a reverse micro trend, which is a continuation pattern. Look at that, touched to the T. So that's a continuation pattern. That would lead me to believe that this baby's got some more downside, which is unfortunate. And it's following the market. It's following the S&P, the composite, and that's all looking rather poorly, just because of Amazon. So upsetting. Whoops. Oh, I screwed up my charts now, boy. Oh, I see what's going on here. Because of Amazon, we are looking at possibly a down day today, unless somebody finds a reason to buy this thing. I mean, it dropped 8%, but it's been holding there, man. It's been staying there since last night. It's not getting any more aggressive. So hopefully the sell is in, and people stop buying. If everybody starts screaming and unloading, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to jump out of a stock once it tanks 8%. Unless they're afraid there's more blood coming. Um, oh, Apple started moving down too, but Tesla's still up. Tesla's holding up. Microsoft, well, Apple came in and they're going forward sucked also, but they're only down 2%. Not bad, not bad. So anyway, we get back to BTC, and this is a reverse micro trend, and if it breaks this weekly low, then things are going to get cheap around here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's condense this a little bit and look at it. Kind of looks like a weak head and shoulders, and this would be the break of that head and shoulder. It's not classic. So these are the 2 points we're watching. We break this, we're heading for this trend right here. We break this trend, and then it's going to be a considerable move down. I'll bet if we break that trend line, I bet we're buying this thing in the teens. That high is 70. This low is 32. That's 40. Yeah. If things fall apart, this could get pretty damn ugly. I'll tell you what, we could definitely yeah, that's accurate. We could definitely look at that 27 mark. That's probably the next hit. I'm going to put a line in there because I say that's, come on. Oh, what happened here? I say that's our next target, man. 2760. We break this head and shoulders. We're hitting 2760. Things could get ugly, ladies and germs. Things could get ugly. On That was the weekly we were looking at. Here's the daily. The daily's got a reverse micro trend also, and it's coming down and testing that. So that'll be the play for today if you could short this thing. Ugly. I'll tell you, I made money on my first move on BTC, and then it just got ugly. On that move up, I thought we were heading for that 55,000. I still think that's possible, but I think we might have to get some ugly out before we start moving and heading forward. So let's take a quick look. Do I have? Oh, there they are. Interest rates. Putting in a double top on the daily. I mean, we could expect these things to pull back, and that might help the tech sector a little bit. And then we have the Fed next week. We have earning the interest rate hike next week, and everybody's kind of iffy about that 50 to 75 basis points. Then we've got the numbers, and after we get all that shit out, not the numbers but the minutes, after we get all that shit out, then I think that things might settle down a little bit. I think today I might even be reducing my positions based on the movement of the market for the day, which seems to be going down at the moment. So, all right. Anyway, everybody should be calm and cool and at peace when you trade. Watch your downside. Don't risk too much. And good luck trading.